At T-Mobile, our critical mission is providing unparalleled 5G coverage for when connectivity is mission critical. Introducing T-Priority, America's best 5G network experience for first responders, even in times of congestion. More capacity, faster speeds, better coverage. T-Priority from T-Mobile, built for tomorrow's emergencies, ready today. Discover more at t-priority.com.
For qualifying organizations on eligible rate plans, coverage not available in some areas and may be impacted by emergencies.
Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business trainer, author of Food Truck 101, Beginner to Winner, and the forthcoming book, Food Truck 201. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business. Today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about bringing your own guests whenever you go to set up in front of any business, especially a brewery. Somebody will make this statement: I set up at a brewery and only had $200 in sales. I'm thinking I'm going to start to ask for a minimum. And I hear these similar stories all the time. A new food truck owner is asked to park at a brewery. They get super excited because now they got someplace to park and it's for free. And they start thinking about all the people that must go to that brewery, and the brewery must be super popular, and all those people will drink and they'll want to eat. It'll be awesome. And they start counting all the money they think they're going to make, except it doesn't happen that way. So before we go on to what you should and shouldn't do, let's talk about the income streams that a food truck has. There's 4 possibilities, and there's little variations among those 4 possibilities, but there's only 4 ways to make money with a food truck. One is to drive a route, just like an ice cream truck. That means you're constantly moving. You're selling to the general public. The truck markets itself through the music and the bright colors, and the owner has to be on point on social media, letting people know where their potential route is and what time they're going to be in certain areas if they want to maximize their sales. The truck only stops long enough to serve people, and then it moves on. And there's actually some cities that make trucks do this, that sell hot food. And it is very difficult to be successful selling hot food driving a route. But certainly ice cream trucks can make good money. That's one revenue stream. The next one is a location. A location means that you're setting up on a piece of property, and that property has access to the general public. And depending upon impulse shoppers, that's who supplies the truck with some of its guests, and then the truck has to augment, or the owner has to augment the sales by marketing both physically and then also on social media. The food truck is selling to individuals, and the food truck is receiving individual payments for those meals. That's a location. The third revenue stream is an event. Now, an event is different than a location. An event, people gather with a common purpose, like riding rides, playing games, petting pets, looking at crafts, listening to music. There's a reason for people to be there, and food trucks are secondary to the other attractions of the event. If that particular event was not there, the food truck wouldn't be there either. The food truck owner depends upon the event's marketing to help them generate sales, because the general public is not available to the vendor. The vendor is some secluded area behind a fence maybe, or behind some ticket outlet that controls who's getting into the event. So the vendor has to depend upon the people that are at the event, attending the event. Event sales are still individual meals, and they're still sold to the public, but it's only the public that's attending the event. The fourth revenue stream is catering, and catering is selling to a captive audience with a single payer. There's no marketing of any kind because you don't have the ability to sell to the general public. So a catering is different than an event. An event is different than a location. Understand the 3 differences there, because they all have different types of marketing. So where does a brewery fit into the scheme of things in these revenue streams? Technically, it's a location. It is not an event. It's a location because it's open to the general public. It's a location because you're selling individual meals that are being paid for by individual people. It's a location because the food truck is responsible for its own marketing. So wait, you mean the food truck has to market when it goes to a brewery? Yes, it does. The food truck is responsible to market themselves anytime they are dealing with the general public. You don't want to take anything for granted. Parking at a brewery is just a free parking spot. That's it. Expecting the brewery patrons to eat, and then you get disappointed when they don't eat, is just like shooting yourself in the foot and then wondering why it hurts. It's your business. Don't wait on someone else to come market for you. Take the steps necessary to get your own people your own loyal guests that love your food and have told you, I love your food, to follow you to the brewery. And if you have to give them some incentives, I'll give you $1 off if you come see us. Whatever it takes, but you need to get your own people coming there. Get them in the habit of looking for you at that brewery. We have a local brewery here that rotates in new food trucks daily. And of course, the coveted spots are on the Friday night and all day on Saturday. I go and watch the food trucks there. The busiest food trucks by far are the ones that do what? Market themselves. Their social media is lit up with their schedule. And they're reminding people, hey, we're going to be at this brewery tonight on Friday night from whatever time it is to whatever time they're leaving. They let people know and they market and let every guest that is on their Facebook know where they're going to be. They will send out information on Twitter. They'll send out information on Instagram. They'll do a TikTok. They're doing things to get people to remember where they are and to remember their business. So when they pull up somewhere, people know they're going to be there. And if they're late, people let them know, hey, you said you're going to be here at 5 and it's 5:15. And they give them that little bit of ribbing because they were there waiting for the food because they were there, not because there was a brewery. They were waiting on the food. Now, you guys know that I visit anywhere that has multiple trucks because I like to try their food, but I also like to see how they operate. I pull out a stopwatch. I'll sit and watch their speed of service and do timings on all of the guests that are in a line. I'll spy on the cooks. I'll look in the cashiers through the window. I analyze the operations. That's just what I do. Both me and my wife like to do that, and we're in different lines at different food trucks, seeing who can get there the fastest. We're basically competing with those food trucks, letting them compete with each other, and they don't even know it. The one truck that I was telling you about that frequents that brewery, and I've watched them many times, they consistently have the longest lines, but you know what? They have the second highest menu prices there, so it's not because they're cheap that they have long lines. They have long lines because they let people know, hey, we're going to be here. And then they're able to turn over their food quick enough to keep people excited to come back another time. Now, what's interesting is the handful of times I've been able to watch them, about half of the guests that they serve get back in their cars and leave the brewery. They never went in the brewery in the first place. And then the half that does stay, they typically eat at the picnic tables that are outside the brewery. They may or may not order a beer, but as soon as they get done eating, they leave. Very, very few of their guests buy food and then go sit down and eat the food and then remain at the brewery to get more than that second beer. So that tells you that they're bringing their own guests. The brewery is not giving them their guest pool. They are giving the brewery a guest pool. And there are too many trucks that do not do that do not understand that. So you got to understand, as a food truck owner, you have to bring your own guests. It doesn't matter where you set up. If the general public can get to you, you got to bring them. It's an opportunity to park at a brewery. It's just a free parking spot. Nothing more, nothing less. You are responsible for your own business, not the brewery, not a hardware store, and certainly not an event planner. You are responsible. So you're probably going, you've rambled on and told me the same thing. So here's another little story. Our own Pearson Street Smash Burgers and Melts. They shared a story with me last year. They were asked to go visit a brewery, and there was also a small dessert snack truck that set up alongside of them at the brewery. And it was on one of the weekend nights. And as per usual, Pearson Street was absolutely slammed. And as per usual, they handled their sales with their usual speed and accuracy and got people fed. That's what food trucks do. But after a short while of them being there, the brewery owner came out and asked the Pearsons to leave. And do you know why? The brewery couldn't handle the overflow from the Pearsons. The food truck the Pearsons owned, their food trailer, brought so many people to that brewery, they couldn't handle it. And they're saying, please leave so we can handle what we got. So if you want to be successful in this or any other business, take responsibility for your own sales and your own marketing. It's truly up to you to bring people to your food truck. Depending upon another business's overflow for your own sales, that's not a business model, that's just a gamble. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you find all the information helpful to your business, please become a monthly supporter of the podcast. Just hit the support button or follow the link in the description. Every little bit does help keep us going. Join our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. We have a whole bunch of awesome members at all different levels, from just starting brand new beginners to decades-old veterans. They've all got your back when it comes to helping you and your food truck. And again, thank you so much for listening. Come back tomorrow because you know I got plenty more to say about helping you and your food truck business.